Prosecuting the victim, gender biases, and the psychological impact of injustice. Description of the book. This is a true story about a victim and a perpetrator with a twist. This is not a whodunit. The police didn't have to go looking for who victimized me. The prosecutor didn't fail to get a conviction against the perpetrator and fail to get justice for me. What happened was that I was the victim of a brutal and bloody assault on October 1st, 2024. Then, within 12 hours of calling 911 emergency and reporting how I was hurt, I found myself being interrogated as if I was a perpetrator while still wearing the same bloody clothing. This is a story about a perpetrator named Ana Ensaf Amador-Riza, who was treated like she was a victim. I was a victim of her brutal violence, and I did no wrong. A perversion of justice occurred based only on the choice to believe the perpetrator. I begin this book with a description of what happened to me while I was minding my own business at home. There will then be an interlude into my desperate attempt to end my life in December of 2019. I do this to ensure that no one tells me that what happened long ago should stay in the past, and or this story is about some fixation of mine upon a matter that happened years ago. My suicide attempt was not a cry for help. I simply wanted to die because it seemed that there were too many walls/barriers to every dream I ever had, and there was nothing I or anyone else could do. It took me years of hard work to overcome shyness so that I could be a mental health professional. Part of that experience involved helping victims of trauma to heal with only good intentions. Worrying about being rejected was a preoccupation of mine. I spent years trying to overcome social phobias and shyness. At one time, I hadn't even considered a career as a psychotherapist because I was so shy. I overcame my social anxiety by telling myself that if I came out of my proverbial shell, nothing bad was going to happen. I was wrong in that regard. Section 1, Introduction. I'm not going to write a long introduction because I know that some people don't even read a preface or introduction. Indeed, I'm sometimes turned off by lengthy introduction and preface. We want to get right into the story. That being said, I want to tell you something that might give you an idea as to what this book is about. As the title indicates, this book is about the psychological impact of victimization and injustice. This isn't your typical book about injustice where you have a victim and the wrong person is convicted of the crime that they didn't commit. A friend told me how she was victimized and the perpetrator was never punished, but she moved on with her life. This is different. The perpetrator was believed by the detectives in Durham, North Carolina, to be the victim, and I, the victim, was believed to be the perpetrator. I have suffered from the psychological impact of that for more than 2 decades. I am finally getting well. In fact, all the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder are gone. I have lost more opportunities than I can count. This title includes the words prosecuting the victim because that's what happened. I was the innocent victim, but they interrogated, jailed, and prosecuted me, the victim, and defended the perpetrator. You might reasonably conclude that gender biases were a major factor for the injustice, a situation in which the police detectives just could not imagine a guy being the victim of an assault by a woman.